Hi, my friends. This video is coming to you tonight from the bedroom of a very tired mama with a sick little baby. So pray for us. He's with grandma right now, allowing me to make this last minute recording at the end of a busy day. Hope you're all well. When I thought about what I might talk about today, this idea came to me pretty quickly. My favorite adaptation of all time from book to film would have to be the 1985 miniseries Anne of Green Gables, based on the beloved children's book and then the following series. The original book, Anne of Green Gables, was written by Lucy Maud Montgomery, Canadian author, in 1908, and many sequels followed. I believe 6 or 7 additional Anne books, another 4 or 5 about Anne's children and family and friends, and then more books about other people who lived in the Anne universe. And also additionally books that were written after Lucy Maud Montgomery passed away, books that were approved by her estate to be written, posthumous sequels, and a prequel as well. So this series is beloved, obviously in Prince Edward Island in Canada and around the world. It's been published in every language that publishes novels. And the series, actually, this Canadian film series, the original miniseries, its sequel, Anne of Avonlea, also known as Anne of Green Gables Part 2, and then the third chapter, Anne of Green Gables, the continuing history, I believe is the name of the third, have been seen in every country that has film, has TV. That's how popular this series is. It's known the world over, been translated into so many different languages. And my love certainly began in 1986 when the series that had been filmed and released in 1985 in Canada first appeared on PBS on Wonderworks. And I was hooked, absolutely hooked. And that love of this adaptation has continued all these years. Some interesting facts about the film series. It was directed and produced by Kevin Sullivan, who is an award-winning producer and director in Canada. He obtained the series from Lucy Maud Montgomery's estate. That's been a kind of a contentious relationship I can get into later. If you'd like, I could tell you more about it. After the success of the film, the original agreement was contested, and they've gone back and forth over the years about how much money is owed to which parties and who absolutely can possesses control of the books, the stories, the characters. And ultimately, Sullivan has won every law case. But anyhow, the series was in pre-production in 1983-84. Over 3,000 young actresses film tested for the role of Anne Shirley. Katharine Hepburn, at the time, knew about this series that was in the works and suggested that her niece, Schuyler Grant, an American actress, would be perfect for Anne Shirley. Schuyler auditioned, and Kevin Sullivan loved her, wanted to cast her as Anne, and the Canadian broadcasting system rejected this idea because they couldn't imagine that the Canadian people would love the idea of an American actress playing their beloved Anne Shirley. And so they told him, you can use Schuyler in another role, but we really need a Canadian actress to play Anne. An actress named Megan Follows had auditioned, and he wasn't totally impressed with her, but he did remember her and called her back for a second screen test. And it was after her second screen test that she was cast ultimately as Anne, and Schuyler was cast as her best friend, Diana Barry. Also in the film are the great Colleen Dewhurst, Richard Farnsworth, and the late Jonathan Crombie as Gilbert. These characters, anybody who's loved any book, like some of us have loved Anne or Little Women, or even recent series like the Harry Potter series, Hunger Games, you envision these characters, you imagine them. And when you see them, if you see them in a live production or a film adaptation, it's amazing when that casting is so brilliant that these characters are exactly the way you imagine them. And that's how I feel about this film series. I just can't imagine anybody else in these roles but Megan and Jonathan as Anne and Gilbert. The story is so true to the book. They did a lovely job adapting the book to the screen, and then also realizing that they needed a sequel in Anne of Avonlea to kind of continue the story into Anne's adult years. It's a lovely series, and it's one that I've enjoyed. I could watch today and shed tears every time. It's so true. So many lines that I know by heart, and so many portions that just I bring back so many memories from even the first time I watched them in my grandma's living room together with my mom and my grandma and my brother, who was dragged in, but then he loved it too. The score is just so touching and so beautiful. The set design, the production value is absolutely remarkable. And what the series did for tourism in Prince Edward Island and in Canada, but especially PEI, is amazing. It really made it a destination for people all over the world to want to come to where Anne lived. And so there are tours that are given of the movie sets. The sets that were used in those series also continue to be used in future Sullivan productions, including the TV series Road to Avonlea, which, if any of you haven't seen, again, brilliant. It's quality family programming, but just great storytelling. Just real, authentic people with real problems, real joys, real sufferings, and just inspiring ways of working together to confront all of that. I have a little clip. I could post the whole movie. I could post so many clips, but I was able to find 3 favorite clips that are linked in one video that Sullivan Productions suggested as 3 favorite scenes, and I couldn't agree more. So I hope you enjoy it. On a side note, I will say that when we're talking about favorite adaptations and least favorite adaptations, I was not in love with the third film, the continuing saga, the continuing story. I feel it departed too much from the book. It sort of lived in soap opera land for me. And the actors had really, I think, aged too much. And they departed from too many storylines in the book that just made it all kind of unbelievable and ridiculous. And it kind of broke my heart. Most of the times I just ignore the fact that that movie was ever made, and I've completed the story in another way in my mind, and I choose to not remember that film. I cling to the first 2. So I hope you consider watching them with your families or yourself, and enjoy these 3 clips to give you a little glimpse at my favorite book to film adaptation, Anne of Green Gables, the 1985 original series, and then the sequel in 1986. Enjoy.